right, guys, welcome back to our last segment. This is the true bloodbath. We're going to be debating our top 1 to 5 positions for Game of the Year. Just to rattle off the games that are remaining to be put into these positions. So we've got Monster Hunter World, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Where are what let's let this be freeform, okay?
You're gonna go freeform.
And I want to say this now: every single game on this list, including the 6 to 10, is very, very, very good. Okay, there's a high quality bar here. We're dealing with tens.
I think I should start. I think I should start with 5, bro. If we go freeform,
what's
gonna be health?
What's gonna be your number 5?
Number 5 for me is Smash Bros.
Yeah, I was gonna vote for that.
Yeah.
Too.
You see, when you do things this way, things come down a little.
We got 2 fighting games on the list as well.
Yeah,
Talk to me about the campaign mode. How is that?
The campaign mode in Smash Brothers is there's a lot going on. There's the normal the thing with Smash Brothers is you don't really want to play that. You want to smash. You want to unlock the characters as fast as possible. You want to scrap, and that's what we're gonna do tonight when we get this done. Let's go back to Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is exceptional. The only reason why I'm not fighting for it to be any higher is because it's the same formula. It's a dope formula. It's not broke. Don't fix it. I'm happy with it. Definitely top 5 for me.
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
I'm cool with that.
I'm happy with the top 4. It's now.
And I gotta say, probably Monster Hunter World has to be 4th. Though I'd like Alan to talk a bit about that game.
Alan, me too.
But
Alan is gonna die. Alan is gonna refuse.
I don't think Monster Hunter World hangs with the rest of the 3.
Yeah,
I think
I do not see.
I will be completely honest. For me, and bear in mind, I have finished it. I have explored everything. I would put God of War at number 4.
I wouldn't put God of War. I just wouldn't put Monster Hunter at 4.
No.
You put God of War.
Hey, read out the names of those games again.
That's
God of War for me wouldn't be
God of War, Spider-Man,
God of War's top
Red
3.
Dead, Well, we've picked Smash Bros. And Monster Hunter.
I see why you're saying Monster Hunter. I get that. Yeah, I see based on what's remaining why you're saying 4th. But Monster Hunter, you guys was.
To be fair,
I get you.
Listen, one thing I want to point out.
And I want to play that game. I'm just intimidated.
You need to,
I can't get into that. I'm not going to play that game alone, and I'm not going to.
No, but you know what? No, listen.
I'm not. You can alone. That's the awesome thing.
I want to play with you guys.
That's my first
I don't want to play it
Monster
alone.
Hunter. That's my first one, and I played it alone.
That you really went in.
Yeah. Dude, it is so good. Trust me. Once you pick up that Kamahama, bro.
Can I be a diplomat here and say that Spidey will come 4th and Monster Hunter comes 3rd?
No. I think that sounds fair.
No. Spider-Man. I've been waiting all my life for a good Spider-Man.
And it was so good.
But the thing is, all my life for a good.
I'm looking at the top 2. I'm looking at the top 2 and the top 2.
I'll have Spidey in my top 2, to be honest.
No way, bro.
And I would have Spidey in my top 2. But I understand. I really fucking love that game. Then swinging, 100% nailed. Don't even story. Executed to perfection.
Facial expressions.
High quality animations. High quality facial expressions.
Yeah,
storytelling on the level of every other big Sony first party. The Last of Us's, the God of Wars, the Horizons. The storytelling. When usually with Sony games, the really big budget, the storytelling is just like above other people. There's a few people who are on that level. You have your Rockstars, your CDPRs, your Bethesdas when they can get their shit together. Really? But even then, it's kind of, But
all I can say to you is, bro, look, I think 4th place is not a bad. No. Like what you said, 4th is not bad at all. This is a tough list, and everything you said about Spider-Man has made me agree with you. I want to play Spider-Man because of what's the movie?
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. But what I'm going to say about Monster Hunter, as someone who, in this situation, I can think is a bit neutral between you and Alan, right? You've waited for this all your life. Alan loves Monster Hunter. I'm not excited about Spider-Man. Neither was I excited.
You don't like Spider-Man as a character.
Let me say.
Okay.
Neither was I excited about Monster Hunter at all. I played it once on PSP.
Like, not even an hour.
Not even an hour, bro. Monster Hunter for me, I was like, nah, dude, it's too much. You know what I mean? But when I started playing this game, it's very hard to describe how they've created. It's like a subgenre. I don't know how it's an open. It's like semi-open world, but it's like very simple in that all you have to do is you go out, craft a weapon, and then you have to hunt something. But the ecosystem that's there when you go out to look for what you're looking for, tracking it, you even get this weird thing where you even know the traits of certain animals. You even know you're like, okay, you know what? I'm trying to get fangs, so I'm gonna get this weapon and I'm gonna hit the monster like this. There are times, bro, when I was hunting things like it. I can't describe like that. What's that T-Rex thing called?
Angina.
I was like, it's not possible. I was frustrated. I was screaming, and then that feeling of there's no health bar, bruh. So you don't know when you're going to do it. So when you start seeing the thing,
signs,
it starts limping a bit. I'm like, extend, this thing is almost dead.
And imagine about your potion.
Okay. No, listen. What was it? You're chasing this thing down. You've been beating it like 20 minutes, bro. It's now limping. They're my small raptors. When you see them start biting, you're like, this thing is weak. This thing is weak. It's weak, boss. Climb this tree, jump from the top of the tree with the hammer, and connect for the teeth to come out because I need these teeth. I've spent 40 minutes doing this. And the fact that what I just told you is something you can do over and over, and they keep adding, and they cross-played with Final Fantasy. They got behemoths in there. The Witcher
now.
Geralt's in the game now. Like, this game is going places. I didn't think they'll be able to make a game like this. Again, I'm not going to tell you what to put Spider-Man or Monster Hunter. I just wanted to know how, the side of Monster Hunter, basically.
Yes, but can we talk to them about the side of Spider-Man? Because neither of you have played Spider-Man.
No.
Fair?
Let me just say this first.
Yeah.
I am putting Spider-Man higher. Based on what I have seen from the game, and like I said, I've completely... Literally, I just haven't finished God of War, but I know I can spend half an hour and I'm done. Like, I know I'm at the end. You know what I mean? I'm really doing a lot of the hidden missions and things like that.
So that means Monster Hunter can come forth.
Monster Hunter, I have no problem where those two go. Like I said, fourth is very good.
I want to build on what Michael said. We've talked before about innovation and so on, and I think everybody can just completely agree God of War completely reinvented itself. Where the first game was all about storytelling, the next two was just violence, just anger, like it was going nowhere, and 3 really made it more personal, the way the axe worked, like definitely remade the thing. But where Monster Hunter shined is what Michael just touched on. Veterans can say this is the best Monster Hunter game, and newcomers can say this is an amazing game.
It's very
because they've taken what works with it, and they've kind of adapted some things to make it a little bit more accessible for new players. Like before, some of the ways you would carve or the way you would create your potions, like you literally have to sit down and do it. Now you can pick up a herb and honey, and you've already got your max potion. High potion, that sort of thing. So they've done really well in taking this game that was made in 2004, very simple, and really just added so many monsters, so many different types of ecosystems. Even within one ecosystem, you could have the type of rugged rocks and bones on top, and then poison area underneath. So even one area feels a little bit different. So and dealing with the monsters, oh my days! You have to bring a certain type of weapon to deal with flying, Wraitholos moving all over the place. And maybe you bring that hammer to sort out that difference between knock that guy down. So you really can plan for your things ahead of time, especially if you're going for much higher level types of monsters and so on.
I'm not going to base it off Mexico.
No.
And really, for numbers, number of hours played, number of creatures, the different types of areas, the creating a thing. The only thing I can say as a veteran is that all the armor looks the same. But that's...
not the same in the game, but for people who've played it before.
Who have played it before.
Dude, let's talk about Spidey, man. Because I think it's.
I was trying to be diplomatic before, but then now when I'm really.
You played Spidey, man. Don't just be diplomatic. What do you feel? What's in here?
I'm still in the DLCs, and all I can say is that there is no weak point in that game.
I would disagree.
The voice. Well, in my opinion, it's that from the voice acting, perfect, to the animations, to an open world game that just doesn't feel. You don't just get bored of it because traveling through it and
the crimes that are always happening in every district.
Can I ask something? This is unique opportunity for us. Why, since the two of us have played Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah.
The two of you have played Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Why don't we play the other games?
Yeah.
Why don't we put these two games at third? You guys play Monster Hunter, we play Spider-Man. Not to
So
say
you're
what's
saying
better.
two games are tied at third.
But I think that
Because
well,
that's a
we
fair-
will keep going and so
That's
on.
very
keep
fair.
going. And I think
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
only fair that we're coming from a point of two people are talking about a game they haven't played on both sides. You know what I mean? We haven't played
and it's not
Spider-Man.
like you don't believe the other party
Exactly.
that the other game
Yeah,
is really,
because I
really
completely
good.
trust you guys that
Oh,
Monster
yeah,
Hunter
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
incredible. I
So-
know that it is.
So can we make that in control mission to play? We play Spider-Man. You guys play Monster Hunter. Not to say to change any rankings, but just because these are great games that we haven't played, we're missing.
And
out
we just can't decide.
exactly as gamers. I think we're missing out if we haven't played. You know?
Diplomacy.
I say
So-
this. I say this.
I will just say with
You're a changed
Spidey,
man from last year.
my only problem with Spidey was a couple of the research stations weren't all that much fun. But that's literally I complain about 1%
yeah,
of the game. You know what I
1%.
mean, or something, or like it's such a and some of the
Dude,
research
every
stations were
interaction
fun.
between Peter and MJ was just
So real,
realistic.
so real. It's
Realistic.
like how you talk to your girlfriend or
Yeah,
significant
yeah.
other in real life and stuff.
Really
Telling
good.
me
It's
I'm
so
gonna
much-
get stressed in a game.
Like
Well,
that,
yeah,
that
I
scene
think
with,
you're gonna be pretty strict.
That scene with MJ and Peter in the apartment when he like does the shimmy moonwalk back and stuff like that. It's just these
Everything
the
is
Miles
Spider-Man
Morales.
3 scene?
Sorry.
They brought a Spider-Man 3 scene.
Even in the
Oh,
the
and there
Spider-Verse
are
movie.
some references.
They
There are
reference
some
they
references
reference the
from previous-
movies and the comics.
Yeah.
So
because
like
it is later on in years.
yeah,
That's a
he's
nice
an
touch.
older Spidey,
He's
but
an
he says
experienced- he's an
weird
experienced
shit like
Spidey.
okay,
No, you
I don't
can't.
want
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
you
it's okay.
Alright,
Well,
so
that's
number
Yeah.
two.
So yeah.
So we're saying Marvel, Spider-Man, and Monster Hunter World are tied in third.
I already know number one, so we got number two.
Yeah, we got number two. So
Well,
let's
no.
end this.
Let's talk to me, guys. What's
Yeah, number
we
two's
got
God of
Red
War.
Dead. We got Yeesh.
What?
Number two's God of War.
I don't know, man.
that's
I
number 4.
don't.
All right,
know.
guys. Let me know when
Number four.
you want to have a civilized conversation because number two's God of War.
You know what the thing is, yeah? Red Dead is
Red Dead.
Red Dead like The Witcher 3 is like such a holistic, almost like spiritual experience. Kind of actually similar to God of War. The dynamic encounters, you know, when you're just off in the world and you see the white dot and you're like, oh hey, you know what I mean, you get into something or you explore a house or whatever. All that stuff is really, really, really cool.
I have a second
I
life,
want
bro.
all open world games to start doing what Rockstar did with the dynamic kind of encounters and side quests. That's just such a better way to do it. Problem with that was kind of halfway through the game, a couple of those start repeating. I can't remember how many times I had to help a chick whose horses died, whose horse had died, and needed a ride
The repetitive
somewhere.
aspect is always
Or
gonna come through.
and then the game made me do. You finished it, right, as well?
Which one?
Red Dead.
No, I haven't finished.
Okay, so
Don't spoil.
I'm not gonna spoil it. The game made me do a certain quest line in the main story, and then there's an epilogue, like Red Dead 1. Obviously, I won't spoil that. But it brought that quest back and made me do it again, and like nothing had ever happened. That was bizarre. So that kind of stuff was annoying.
But that's the one-off thing.
But yeah. Because most of the encounters are just so good. I mean, there's times when you're like riding
Bro,
through in a
at
thunder.
night, I just get my band-aid, my bandana on my face,
Yeah.
and I rob people, bro. During the day, I'm a good guy. I clean horses. I do good things. At night,
That's how
Yeah.
it works.
at night, I go to
That's how it
campfires
works,
and I
yeah.
jack them. I say, "What you got? If you want to make noise, then bro, you gone." Like that's my second life, and that's my number one.
The economy in that game also breaks, like every other Rockstar game. At a certain point, you get too much. No, you didn't say.
Oh,
You get a
mean,
lot
like,
of money at some point.
There's a point where the economy
an
breaks
RPG, guys.
and stuff, and like it's just you have money but nothing to spend it on, which is kind of why.
The only
No. Again, I have to
That's
be
not an RPG, that's a
nitpicky
game.
because it's the top two.
Ah,
You know
that's
what
a
I
game,
mean?
guys. It
I
has
have to be nitpicky
think,
because
yeah.
it's the top two. You know
I-
what I
I
mean?
think
I have
that-
to go for the things which normally would say whatever for. But I wish the game gave me more to spend money on. Like, let me spend money on making my own ranch and stuff.
Don't make patches. don't
Story wise, no. But for the main campaign, no.
Deal.
I think,
bro.
I think the
DLC.
only reason why Red Dead will come second for me is because I think they did everything right in terms of just how an open world RPG should be. Everybody should base the foundation of what an RPG should look
being able
like,
to talk to him, every NPC.
feel like, character development, weapons, clothes, just environmental graphics, everything, including voice acting. Oh, the voice acting.
So the more you talk, the more it's number one.
No,
relax.
no. This is why I'm defending it. Like, the voice acting was absolutely magnificent in Red Dead.
Oof.
So
It
fun,
was,
yeah.
as in, every time I played this game, I just knew that this game was brilliant. You just know. But then, what God of War did was so difficult. It was so challenging to create a relationship between two characters in a linear-esque environment.
While reinventing but reinventing the franchise at the same time.
Reinventing
Camera
the franchise.
perspective,
Last
combat,
of Us, we
emphasis on
all
story.
know that. Yeah, Last of Us, we all know was absolutely perfect. Yes.
I'll be honest, because it's hard for me to appreciate games like that, because I will always compare it to
Last of Us. But the thing is that even though certain aspects, especially the camera being over the right shoulder, it's always going to be compared to some other game.
Imagine you worked at Rockstar and you made the original Red Dead, yeah? And now everyone's watching because you have to make 2, yeah? What's harder? Reinventing the wheel, yeah? God of War, we didn't even expect it. They completely reinvented it, right? Which was there's obviously pressure, not taking anything away from it. But you already had that. You had John Marston. He's gone. How will you make us like this new character?
Exactly. Even with Kratos, everybody thought 90% of people are like, Kratos is an asshole. I don't like Kratos. I've never liked Kratos.
No, but imagine
and then they fucking had to work with that, a despised character in all of gaming. Very few people like Kratos except for me and Alan. No.
Despised character in all of gaming.
Please. Do you read online forums, bruv?
I don't think he's despised.
I liked the meathead Kratos. Yeah, like you said, personal moments in God of War 3, which are really underappreciated and stuff like that. Even in the
God of War
games.
1 was a true, Greek, type of tale, tragedy and so on. And that's what made us, even before the game came out, I remember in a magazine article, could this be the game that the PlayStation 2 was made for? I'll never forget that. And, my expectations were like this, and then the game delivered like this.
Yeah.
And with 2 and 3, they really nailed down the action elements, but the story was now literally 0. It's going nowhere, you just know, where it's going to be headed and so on. And I see what Michael's saying. I don't think he was despised.
Maybe despised is a strong word, but a lot of people were sick and hated Kratos, and a lot of people said if they ever make a God of War, don't put Kratos in it. Yeah. Do not include Kratos. So there was so much difficulty in what Santa Monica had to do to reimagine that.
But then that's what I'm saying.
Then you add the sun on top of that, the sun in an action game, and everybody was whining about being able to control the kid and stuff like that. I mean, that is just a monumental effort.
You have to be
not
petty.
Taking anything away
you have
from
to be
Rockstar.
petty when it comes to games that are this good and of this high quality.
Petty, yes.
And the thing is, my only petty aspect of comparing these two games is that for you to create a game where you are controlling pretty much two characters, and that's a journey of just two characters and their experiences with other people and with each other, compared to Arthur Morgan and John Marston. Look what they did.
Also, I want to add,
it was very difficult to pull off. I think
God of War as well, pacing and every single moment in that game is perfect. Red Dead, first of all, there's a whole 2 to 3 hours in that game. I can't say for spoilers because I don't know where you are. It's a waste of time. And you know the part I'm talking about. When you go to a different place.
Yeah.
That whole period, it feels like some weird Frankenstein part of the development process where they're like, we're not kind of sure if we're really gonna make this work. Just shut it in. Just the specific part. That's 3 hours of the game that is a complete waste. There's the only reason that whole section of the game works is because there's a story element underpinning it that works with Dutch and
you grind
Arthur.
Through it.
And you grind through it. But in terms of playing that whole, it's a bit of a Frankenstein in that masterpiece. It's like, wait, what the fuck were you guys thinking during this part of the game? What was going through your head? I really don't know if you've reached this part of the game.
Because I'm trying to understand. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna. I feel like the level of the game, like, it's very tough where we are right now. These two
it's
games.
nitpicky, bro.
Yeah,
that's
where
we are.
I don't feel that for me to justify Red Dead being number one, I have to even talk down God of War, because I feel that's how good Red Dead is, just on itself.
But my part, what I'm talking about, is a problem for Red Dead, even if God of War was never made.
No, but it'd still be number one. Then what would have beaten it if there was no God of War?
Well, now you're going down a rabbit hole. What my point is, this part of Red Dead, the 3 to 4 hours of this part of the game, is a bit of a mess.
But out of how long story campaign?
Yeah, it's long, but dude, you have like this part of the game is bizarre, man. It's bizarre at certain points. It's like, were you meant to do more with this, but you just tapped out and said we have to ship? You know what I mean? It's a blot on the copybook of the game. And if you watch a lot of reviews and listen to a lot of people have problems with this section of the game, apart from the story aspect of it, because it's very relevant
Would you
to
say
what
it's
Arthur.
worse than Chapter 13? FF15?
I've played that game and no, it's not.
Well,
No,
But the FF15 falls apart when the
Red
open
Dead,
world part dies.
to be fair as well, Red Dead, I mean, I even feel bad, like, feeling like I need to take shots at Red Dead. But the epilogue also did take a little bit of time to...
No,
kind of.
The
But that's
epilogue,
like,
for me, I appreciated that, because it's... You have to look at it like...
Because you like John.
No, not just that. It's a Western. Like, you know when you watch Western movies, you have that slower start.
Yeah.
It's trying to build you towards...
To be fair,
opening up
I
the world.
don't have too much of a problem with the way
They were like, put you in an extreme scenario,
I think
and then they say, okay, there's now beauty in this world, because look, it's like the typical thing where you start something off small, and then you build off from it.
I can
RPG.
get that.
Yeah.
Also, the way I think we're dancing around Red Dead's controls, guys.
What's wrong with the controls?
Shooting. I have
love
no
the
problem with. No.
The guns,
I like the guns.
Feeling the guns, the sound.
guns. Again, super nitpicky, because like you, I like the shooting. I don't mind pop and lock, whack-a-mole, Rockstar's type of shooting. But towards the end of the game, there's limited gun variety.
Bro,
You know what I mean? You've been
die
using
in that,
these
the way
guns
people
for so
die
long.
in that game.
And then the pop and lock kind of slowly starts to drag a little bit. I understand people's complaints with the shooting and stuff. It's very, very Rockstar 2000.
This is very political.
10
right
and
here.
13.
This is political, bro.
How is it political?
because
We have to attack the small things.
Read the
We have
reviews,
to.
man. People have problems with the controls.
I like experiencing my experience with the game, and not just going online and think there's nothing wrong with them. I'm not
I
saying
also
it's
have
wrong,
problems with the
but
controls.
I'm saying if people tell me that they don't like something that I might like, I'm not gonna
Yes.
say.
But what I'm saying is, because again, we're forced to be nitpicky. Like you, I played 80 hours of that
that's what I'm
bastard.
trying to say.
Loved the
I'm
shooting.
trying to say, okay.
Loved it. But again, weapon variety, not great.
Can I?
Not
can I
great.
nitpick?
Especially towards the end of that game, it becomes Lancaster
You have
repeater,
one-
the carbine repeater.
pistol,
it's like
the automatic
the automatic
pistol,
pistol. It's like,
yeah.
yo, dude,
guys,
these weapons
okay,
are now getting a little bit.
Can I have the
boring.
floor? First,
You know what I mean?
First of all, like, I get that you're trying to get the game to win. Makes sense. You're being nitpicky. But let's also look at things in hindsight, yeah? You're assuming that every single thing about God of War was perfect. Based on how you
No.
Because everything has things that could be better. That's the natural flow of things, yeah? Now, in terms of God of War, for me, did something absolutely fantastic. The cinematic switches into combat and out of combat, the gameplay, the fact that you've taken a character that we, like you're saying, I don't think like you use a strong word, but I think is that we thought had no depth. You're adding depth to him by adding another character was fantastic. But then again, don't forget, this has been done, like Alan is saying, and will be done just now with The Last of Us. Yeah? It's the young person that's more vulnerable with this oversized, like, more powerful person. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to criticize the game for it. But when I look at the two, I say, this game, absolutely sublime in what it's doing. It's trying to create that more of an emotional aspect. Red Dead is on a larger scale, saying, I want to create this actual world. The fact that a game allows you to interact with nearly any NPC, you can't take that away, because they had to build on what they had. The original Red Dead did that, and people love certain things, so they had to keep some of those things in the new game and build around those as well. So I just, in summary, feel that the choice between the two games is not based on me wanting to bash the other game, but just saying for me personally, in terms of what I saw when it came out, I was wowed by God of War. But when I saw Red Dead, for me, totally blown out the water. I was watching, is it Outworld? What's that series? Westworld. I was watching Westworld, then I'd play Red Dead. I was just like this. Like, I was gone. Like,
That's a good time.
Yeah. I used to wake up. Like, I also play these games a bit different in that I don't like to, like, I'm not really that much of a collector. I want to push through missions. I just like to enjoy the world. So I wake up and say, what am I doing today?
Yeah, me too.
All right, I'm going to wear my work boots. I'm going to feed my
role playing.
Yeah, I love role playing. So for me, between the two games, I could role play so much more in that game. That's what I'm trying to say. They're different. They're very different.
Yeah, they are. It's hard to compare.
Because I wanted to say this before when we were talking about Kratos' character. For me, like, you praise the fact that they were able to take such a negative character and give him some depth. For me, I'm not as impressed by that. Not to say I'm not impressed, but if you're telling me that someone was so bad, let's create, a new way to make him positive. You can do that with, from scratch type of character. Like the advantage that they had is they have this world that he was in. So, some interactions with his son, like, hey, you shouldn't do this and so on. I feel that's rather easy to do. As opposed to, for example, like The Last of Us, where you're learning this character's history and so on, and like by the end of it, some people actually don't even like Joel because of some of the things that he did, and you find out through the story, some of the things that he did to survive and so on. So that's one point. And another point is God of War has become an open world game, yeah? As such, why
I wouldn't say
you're
open
swimming
world.
around a whole lake.
It's open. It's wide linear, like Uncharted 4.
The story is linear, but I
Wide
remember the first time I got to the lake, I was going here, getting in the boat here.
Yeah, but the thing is with the lake, the cool thing again with the lake is every time at certain points the level goes lower.
Every open world game, you go from this section to this.
No, but it's one whole level. The only change is the water level drops.
No, but I mean the
in the Lake of
system
Nine.
of how it works is the same.
But it's not open world. But I don't know.
So because for me, it's open world.
It's like Devil May Cry-ish.
Putting it forth is it lacks the open world elements. You run into how many characters that you actually talk to and have scenes with. Yeah, like Michael's saying, for Red Dead, you can talk to almost anyone, and I expect that from any RPG. Final Fantasy, Kingdom Come. Like I like hearing a little bit of a different perspective and so on. So. Yes, credit to the relationship that they have, but again, I have to draw comparison to The Last of Us because the whole game was about that. It is a straight road, and you pick up a few items here, maybe a few interactions. Oh, what's this? A dartboard, that sort of thing. But that's the point of building that. Whereas here, fantastic. Like there's certain scenes where for example, you'll find a ghost. Atreus will be like, should we help him and so on. That's great, but that's all that there was.
But with the thing with Red Dead with the talking to NPCs, let's not oversell that. Because you could say like hi, good morning, then you can ask them another two things and then the conversation's over.
No, but
you know what I mean? It was limited. It was limited. It was limited. It was.
I'll give you an example without trying to spoil. Someone like literally says that the sister skins a bear with her bare teeth, and you get into a fight. Like the interactivity there is like really? It's not. Yeah, it's dynamic. So like I said, in terms of us a role playing game, I think it's completely different to God of War. God of War is like, it's trying to do the open world thing, but on a smaller scale. So we can't judge them, like what Alan's saying. It's supposed to be open world, but it's more linear with what it's trying to do. Red Dead is complete sandbox at its finest. That's what they're trying to go for.
Revolutionary sandbox.
Exactly.
If God of War was structured more like The Last of Us, where it is pretty much, and you are trying to say, let's focus only on the story, I would have definitely put it higher. But then now, if you are marketing it as an open world game, if
it was never marketed. It's not again. I'm taking a point with it's not
like
an open
another
world.
thing that actually for me,
it's not.
Like I said, even if it's just going to be the two of them, then take an approach more like Dark Souls, where when you find these places, there's an interesting way to find out the history of these characters, these locations, and so on. There were a few things here and there, like the things about the dragon and the Dwarf King and so on. Yeah. But those were very few and far between, and the way it was told was just very like, okay, we've heard something, notebook, okay, we're done. They could have made it a more interesting, appealing, and had more of those types of things. But I think that definitely would have helped.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
will argue
the fact
though,
that we've got different 9 worlds, even though you couldn't play all 9 worlds, really see.
And the visual variety in all those worlds is incredible. I mean, each world
no
world felt like a copy paste.
Because there was one world I was very much looking forward to, but it was pretty much just challenges.
Yeah,
and like, come on, that could have been the best to have some history and so on. So
Red Dead, bro.
But I like that. I like that world as a combat challenge.
When Red Dead gets that hint of like the times when you have your first real taste of racism in the world, like for me, when I was in that other section, that swampy area, whatever, and I'm hearing that, like, the small subtle things that like also come to your point where you said, weapon variety and so on. Like they also bear in mind limited to the reality of the time.
Yeah, that is true.
They had to work with that as well.
But I still feel like they could have done a bit more with the weapon.
They can't put AR-15s, bro.
No, I'm not asking for AR-15s, but I'm sure there's a lot of other weapons they could have. A few other things they could have, and the repeaters all handle the same.
Yeah.
They've got different names, but they pretty much all handle.
They don't clean the same.
I mean, you press R3 and you know what I mean. The
pistols,
repeaters all work the same, pretty much.
You gotta wipe it good. Oh, and the stores. I love the stores, man. Come on, guys. Like.
Also, I think we gotta knock Red Dead for the online, guys. I honestly think we have to give it a knock.
We have online.
But that's because it's not God of War Ascension had online. People would knock it for that because the online wasn't that good.
We can't compare online if. That's not
I don't know, man. It's part of the product. I feel like you have to evaluate.
Okay, it's still ongoing.
And the online is not good right now. It's not good. You haven't even played it.
GTA 5 online wasn't good when it first came out.
Exactly. So we'd use it as a knock against the game then. Now. But that you're looking into the future, which you don't even know. You don't work at Rockstar to know what's coming down the pipe. All we can do is evaluate the online we have right now. And the online of Red Dead is pretty bad.
Okay.
It's bad.
Before we go down this rabbit hole, when people were reviewing us talk about GTA 5, did they talk about GTA 5 or GTA 5 online?
GTA 5 online wasn't out. We're doing our game of the year it took 2 weeks for GTA 5 online to come out. People were doing this on day one.
But we are talking about game of the year.
Exactly.
Again, but the game of the year at this moment in time for us, Red Dead has online. Yes or no? Yeah. It's part of the product for us. I played Red Dead Online. You're making it sound like I should delete the Red Dead Online I've played.
But I played GTA 5 online. It was bad.
Okay, and if we made a game of the year, then I understand you saying I'm not going to count the online as a knock against the game. I'm saying I am. I'm counting it as a knock against the game because no. Even if it was the Red Dead Online is mediocre, bruv. It's mediocre.
Would you say that?
And it's fucking corrupt.
The game in terms of like.
For me, because me and PK were so excited to be saddling up as cowboys. How much did we talk about playing Red Dead Online together?
Look, I can't lie.
Me and PK were hyped for that. And it's been so sad that Red Dead Online has turned out to basically be a cash grab for spending money on gold bars. Because it works with that gold bars are shark cards, So that's the sad part for me, because I wanted to continue. Imagine the role-playing aspect online, bruv. Squadding up and stuff. It would be so dope. But what they've executed there is mediocre. Story, there's barely any story missions.
You are a politician, bro.
No, I'm just
think about
again.
I
have to be
picky. Did you feel that your $60 was robbed
because
of the online?
Absolutely not. What I'm saying again, I think you're trying to make like a weird argument.
What I'm trying to say is we are talking about the top 2 games of the year.
Yeah. And like the online was part of it because online's been out since November, man. You know what I mean? And me and Patrick. How hyped were we for that online, man?
I only got onto Grand Theft Auto the beginning of last year, and it's been out for a long time.
Very long time.
Yeah. But I got into a game that was already patched. It was already built, and I'm just like, Rockstar, this is a fantastic online segment, and I'm definitely getting Red Dead Redemption, and the online is going to be an aspect that I'm definitely going to jump off after a month of playing Red Dead. And it was
pretty bad, man. Let's be honest.
But then would you say that would be unfair?
I don't think it's unfair.
I think
because
no expectations. Based on you played the online of GTA when it was now sorted, and you're going in with that sort of mentality.
I'm thinking, haven't you guys been learning? GTA 5 online came out in 2013. Have you guys not been learning from all the cool shit you've been doing in that? Thinking of how to adapt that for Red Dead? They did none of that except gold bars.
To be fair,
spend money on our gold bars.
I don't think we should include online because
For
we're
me,
talking about the games here.
that's unacceptable
What-
for me.
what-
It's
to
part of the
include the
package.
online?
The online is part of the package. It's
Okay.
fair enough if it doesn't detract for you.
No, but okay,
Fine.
if the online was
For
good,
me-
are you gonna tell me that based on that online experience, yeah, if it was a good experience, right?
It would
Are you
push it
telling me
over
that
God of War.
it'd be better than every game because of the story and the online?
I mean, if it had
Yeah, what
online,
I'm saying
this
is,
is
would you say you could count the online as a point against God of War?
Because there's so
against
many
any other
games
game?
that have
I would
good
say
online.
with when you add online, if it was executed perfectly, online would tip it for me to Red Dead personally, because me and
That's
Patrick
actually
are
good
saddling up every night. We're not playing Battlefield. We're going out, skinning animals, doing story missions together, hanging out, not feel like our wallets need to be sucked dry, and we're playing that every night. And then from
I'm
there,
surprised to hear about the gold bars, considering it's Rockstar.
to be
They
fair,
know their games are going to sell. They're
yeah,
getting their
the
money.
gold bars
They
are
made their
sharp
money back with
cards.
GTA 5 in 3 days.
They're thirsty in this game. They're thirsty. They want your money. To be fair, I'll give them this. They have given a few gold bars out, but that's mostly because they've been fucking up. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, we're kind of sorry this hasn't been in the
But
state we
Fallout,
wanted. So here's 10 free gold bars if you logged in before this date. They've been having to do that stuff to make people happy. People are so upset about the online not being good. Rockstar have been giving out free gold bars, man. It's mad, you know. So for me, the online part was like,
If it was done well,
it's
it
like
would
once
have
I've
tipped
beaten
it
the
immediately.
campaign, me and Patrick are gonna be like out there in the wild west together. Our two cowgirls, you know what I mean? Like just being outlaws and doing camp hideouts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, me and PK, we were gonna default to playing as females in any
Oh
game
yeah,
almost.
definitely.
But like, you know, it was just such a great thing that was so poorly executed. Does not make me feel like I wasted my $60 in any way.
That's what I'm
In
saying. That's what I'm
any
saying.
way.
Yeah.
But
in hindsight, you want them
the
to give
game,
you a classic
but it's still
single player,
disappointing.
and then you're gonna say everything you've done in your single player. I am not going to appreciate it because you're ongoing.
Again, you're putting words in my mouth.
No. I'm just saying that the same way you say you expect them to learn, right? You know GTA 5 took how many years to get to the
But I
level
have
it
to
needs get?
evaluate
And
what
to
I
be
have
fair,
now for Game of
which
the Year.
online game
I have no
is great
choice.
when it pops out.
I have
Exactly.
no Apex
There's
Legends.
like
Apex
almost
Legends
nothing.
just
No, but
came
that's-
out.
that's a
Apex
battle
Legends
ro-
came out 2 weeks ago.
Those are the
That's
games
perfect.
that you say they throw out. Those are battle royales. That's what you said.
People have
You
been
know what I mean?
complaining
But-
about
but
the fact
the-
of how you have to
I meant
grind
in
to get
general.
characters unless you drop money. Like there's always going to be a thing.
Yeah, but overall, most people are like very, very satisfied with Apex Legends. Overwatch came
guys,
out.
we have
so
to
it's
we have to
fine.
come to a conclusion with these two games.
Okay, so the conclusion I say is that rock paper scissors because
I say God of War is in first, man. I think God of War
okay fine.
ekes it barely. When I say God of War is barely ahead, barely made. Like a hair's width between God of War and Red Dead.
I say God of War is fourth.
Bro, you know
That's true. You did say you revert in fourth. For me, it's God of War is barely shading Red Dead. Barely. You know.
you can have your first place, man.
Yeah.
I just
But
think
you know
Are you good with that?
all things considered, God of War, the points you brought out were strong points, but they were not strong enough to hold alone to say this is why. You had the emotional aspect, you've had the build, but you're also ignoring the fact that it's not a properly open.
Combat. God of War is more fun to play than Red Dead.
Wait. See now, I'm not trying to say from a perspective. I'm looking at it just from the facts of it, right?
From the
It
facts.
was not a complete open world. It did not invest that much in its open world, and it could have had certain parts, like Alan is saying, more developed.
Yeah, that I agree with.
Okay, so after lots of debate off camera,
It's been tough.
we've come to the conclusion. What's our conclusion?
I don't know what our conclusion is
Number
right now.
10.
Well, no. Wait. So are we going with God of War then?
God of War is number 1 if Spiderman is number 4.
Nah, man. We've already decided. You can't retroactively go back and like.
I ain't got back. God of War is number 4.
All right. Should I rattle these off then? We kind of got there in the end. People were killed. Their bodies are not here.
Guys, this is a fair list.
I want everyone to sign off on this. Is this fine?
The silence in the
Always
wings.
gonna pass me when it comes to number one.
No, me. All I'm gonna say is, based on where this has gone, let Spiderman be number 4, and Monster Hunter number. What is it? Are they 3 and 4?
We put them tied as third and fourth together.
Yeah, Spider-Man 4, Monster Hunter 3.
Nah, I think
I'm okay with
just leave it like.
Why can't you got number 1? Let number 3 be Monster Hunter. It beat it on Metacritic, which is not even a real stat.
You just said you don't give a fuck about.
I just said that, which is not a real stat, but it shows that it's of that same caliber. It's a dope game.
I'm cool with that.
All right.
We can't have it tied.
I believe in compromise and not being
Spidey.
too rigid, but
I wouldn't mind it being to be continued.
no, you know what? I think in a couple years,
Look,
I really want
let me even just be
reason to play the game.
Let me even just be honest with you. The 1 and 2 fight was based solely on opinion for me because God of War just hit the feels a lot stronger.
You know what?
And that may affect my decision making, obviously. But Red Dead was a damn good game, and in any other year it would have got number 1.
Yeah. I have done the rejig at 3 and 4. I'm fine. I'm looking at it now. Actually, I'm actually comfortable.
No.
No. Even if you move that. All right. Cool. Let's wrap this up. Let's go through In Control Game of the Year 2018. Number 10, we have Fortnite. Number 9, we have Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Number 8, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Number 7 is Detroit Become Human. Number 6 is Kingdom Come Deliverance. Number 5 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 4 is Marvel Spider-Man. Number 3 is Monster Hunter World. Number 2 is Red Dead Redemption 2. And number 1 is God of War. Well done, guys.
That's a respectable list.
Yeah. I like that list. It looks good. So, I'm sure you guys maybe have your own thoughts on what should have won Game of the Year. Maybe there's something that wasn't included in this list. Be sure to drop that in the comments below. I'll be taking a look at those and trying to massage some things that probably got messed up through this. But yeah, man, Michael, thanks so much.
Thanks again, man. Haven't been feeling too well, but I couldn't miss this opportunity to add peace to this situation.
Peace.
And PK, any last words?
No, I'm happy with the list. I'm very happy with it.
Alan?
It was a good run.
Play Monster
Hunter. Yeah, so that's gonna be it from us, guys. Really hope you enjoyed this pretty long Game of the Year debate. We're gonna be trying to have this every year. Keep in mind, our next video coming up will be our 2019 preview, right? Like we're gonna go through.
Yeah, we're gonna look at Death Stranding.
It's not coming out this year.
No, but we could talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh. That's not coming this year. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.
PlayStation Evo. No?
Okay. No. I think everybody's tired here. We've been fighting with each other for like an hour. Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll definitely catch you guys next time. See ya. Thanks.